Sonic the Hedgehog, a video game icon that has touched the childhood of many and inspires the imagination of thousands of passionate fans. Whether they prefer chubby Sonic, cool Sonic, 2D Sonic, 3D Sonic, retro Sonic, or modern Sonic, yes, there's a lot of Sonics, fans can't get enough of the speedy blue hedgehog. It was only a matter of time before he made the jump dash to the big screen. Of course, video game movies have struggled in the past to capture that same magic they had in game form. For a while, the stereotype was video game movies could not succeed, critically speaking. Frankly, they were terrible. It might make a few bucks here and there, but the film would just end up in the Hollywood adaptation dumpster fire, fated to fill bargain bins at Walmarts for years to come. However, 2019 changed that, when Detective Pikachu broke the video game movie curse, becoming the first critically acceptable film based on the video game genre. It wasn't necessarily a smash hit at the box office, but fans and critics at the very least were pleased. I mean, that's all that matters, right? This year, it was Sonic's turn to appear on the big screen. Despite its rather rough beginning, the Sonic movie escalated in hype leading up to release, pegging its bets on the mascot's redesign and the return of a beloved nutcase. Was it enough to make Sonic the best video game movie ever, or does it glitch out like Sonic 06? To be honest, I was a little scared when they first announced the movie way back in 2018, 2017, whenever it was. How could Hollywood possibly make an enjoyable film that catered to both Sonic fans and casual moviegoers alike? My fears were only justified when Paramount dropped the first trailer. Oh man, I thought the movie was doomed. Could you imagine what the movie would have been like with this running around the screen? Oh my gosh. It just goes to show you that sometimes the company bigwigs really have no idea what's going on. They have no idea what the fans, what the audience wants to see. According to the reports, those high up who forced the design to become more humanoid and more uncanny because they thought that would be more appealing than, say, a design that's more faithful to Sonic's actual design. It's hard to accept the movie when that's the design. I can't see anybody going into the movie thinking it's going to be a good time when their first impression is this butt ugly blue hedgehog. It makes no sense. I mean, it's not even a hedgehog. It's a child in a Sonic costume. Even a child in Sonic's pelt would have looked better than what they had on screen. I mean, oh my gosh, so bad. At least in the first trailer. Really does a movie survive after such a horrible first impression? But even more rare was Paramount and the people behind the movie delaying the movie a few months to redesign Sonic. And thank goodness they did. Of course, there are conspiracy theories that this was all merely a publicity stunt, but even that jumps a few rings of logic. So I'm willing to accept that they had no choice but to make the design the first way like they did, and after the backlash of fans, they went back and did the actual design, or a better design. Sonic's redesign is what happens when you get someone who knows what they're doing. Tyson Hesse, or Hesse, however it's supposed to be said. I think it's Tyson Hesse. Excuse me for mispronouncing your name, Mr. Tyson Hesse. It's not like you're actually watching this. That man and Christian Whitehead are the saviors of Sonic. Both Sega and Paramount have no idea what they're doing. You know, after Sonic Forces and that the first design of Sonic, it's just wrong. But then you have Sonic Mania and this new design of Sonic, you know, the one they went with for the movie. Those are amazing, and those were done by Christian Whitehead and Tyson Hesse, respectively. So you gotta get the right people for the job. It can't be anybody. Not anybody can just make a video game movie work. You have to know the source material. You have to be passionate about the source material. And you have to have a vision for the source material. You can't go in blindly and hope that everything will turn out okay. Your fans aren't going to accept that. Critics aren't going to accept that. Then again, some movies still do terribly, critically speaking, but then they make a lot of money. So I don't know. I will say that for me, the enjoyment comes when people behind the movie understand the source material. It was the same way with Detective Pikachu, and it's this way with Sonic. His eyes are much better, and he doesn't have these humanoid teeth. It's much less uncanny, much more faithful, and that's why it works so much better. Maybe they were planning on redesigning Sonic from the very beginning. No conspiracy theories here, please. Alright, I have nothing to prove that, so let's just keep going. Pushing aside Sonic's design, his redesign and original design, just let's forget about that for a second. Just look about the trailer. It looked basic, I'm not gonna lie. Not terrible. A lot of people were saying that this is going to be Street Fighter levels, Mario Brothers levels of terrible. To me, no. I saw the trailer and it just looked basic. Like kind of like Alvin and the Chipmunks, Hop, Scooby-Doo, like those live action type of films. Nothing to go crazy about, but some of them have done well. And so I kind of kept my expectations low, but I didn't think it was going to be terrible like a lot of people thought. And granted, some of that had to do with the horrible design, but even after they improved the design, people still thought it would be a terrible movie, and that's why they wanted to see it, because they were hoping it would be like The Room. Well, sorry to disappoint you, it's not The Room. Anyway, I was excited for Jim Carrey, because Jim Carrey is one of my favorite actors, not just because of his funny stuff, but some of the serious stuff he's done before as well. One of my favorite movies is The Truman Show. Yeah, it's a concept that's probably been beaten to death, but at the time when I saw it, it was really the first time I had been introduced to that kind of a movie. And Jim Carrey's acting in that was not only hilarious, but I felt like his acting was very relatable. So I was excited to see what he would do with Robotnik. But at the same time, I was a little worried. I like Jim Carrey, but based on the trailers, I was worried he was going to make it too much like Ace Ventura, too much like The Mask when he has the mask on. I like that Jim Carrey, I just didn't think it fit Robotnik. The voice of Sonic and his mannerisms after the redesign were pretty accurate. So that was probably the thing I was looking most forward to, is just seeing Sonic move around on the big screen. But nothing says Valentine's Day like Sanic. Granted, I didn't see it on Valentine's Day, I saw it on Saturday, but you know, the Valentine's Day weekend. I'm a casual Sonic fan, but when I was younger, I really liked Sonic and at least a couple of his games. So knowing that, maybe you'll better understand my viewpoints with all this. I'm not a Sonic OC kind of person. That's not the level of fan I am, but I do enjoy the Blue Hedgehog and I love Sonic Mania. So let's continue. Were my impressions right? For the most part, yeah. The Sonic movie is fun. A fun, simple movie. It was very entertaining for the children, had great fan service for the Sonic fans, and enough humor for the adults. There was plenty of adults there who probably had no idea what Sonic was, but were there for just Jim Carrey and loved it. And that's kind of brilliant marketing by Paramount, if you think about it. That's the real reason why they brought in Jim Carrey, was to get the boomers. But maybe it was a little too by the books. While it's a good movie, I've seen this plot before. When I go to a movie, I like to see new ideas, new concepts, unique play scripts. And when I find out the movie is basic and simple, it's hard for me to not fully enjoy, but it's hard for me to come out of it thinking, wow, that was the greatest thing I've ever seen. Even if I'm a fan of the IP, even if that IP is something I adore, if it's too similar to something I've already seen, I come out a tad disappointed. Now, when I say disappointed, it doesn't mean it's bad or that it was poorly done. Just, I expect uniqueness in most things. I do the same thing for my work. I try to be unique to myself. Like, this is my product. This is what I do. I don't look at other YouTubers and see how they do it. I value that uniqueness. Now, I'm not perfect. I mean, I quote from SpongeBob quite a bit and all sorts of other mediums. But I do try to be unique and fresh. And maybe that's really arrogant and proud of me to say, but that's what I try to do. So what I'm trying to get at is Sonic, while it's unique because it's a blue hedgehog and the IP's been around and it's original in that sense, it still follows this pattern of guy finds alien but furry CGI creature, goes on road trip with said creature, there is conflict with someone from the government, then they have crazy explosion adventures, there's fart jokes, there's funniness, and then it's resolved. And sometimes there's a love interest thrown in there. I'm just kind of tired of it. I wish Hollywood would try new ideas in that sense, but I know it's that new ideas cost money. New ideas require big brain power, and to make a quick buck, sometimes you don't want to use that big brain power. That costs money. So I understand why it wasn't necessarily like that. So for what it is, a video game movie for an IP that's meant for children, hey, I understand. I get it. I really went a long time on that, so let's keep moving. It still kind of bothers me that we needed an Earth setting, but perhaps anything else would have been unappealing for boomers, the adults, let's be honest. Wow, you really hate boomers. No, they're just an easy demographic to pick on, I guess you could say. No offense to any boomers who watch this, if any. I really doubt anyone over the age of 50 is watching this. It's a funny movie filled with action, which is true to Sonic's nature of cheesy action. So in that sense, they get it right. Ben Schwartz nails it as Sonic. His attitude, his mannerisms, characteristics, it feels like Sonic. I feel bad for Roger Craig Smith, the guy who voices Sonic in the recent video games, but Hollywood is a name game. If you're not going to bring in money, Hollywood's not going to choose you. It's also a different kind of acting. Let's not say that Ben Schwartz did a bad job at all. He did great. You could tell he made the character his own, but at the same time taking inspiration from what other Sonics have done in the past and how he says his lines in that way. So I guess you could say it's good voice direction, at the very least. Another person nailed it, obviously, is Jim Carrey. I wasn't sure if he would fit the Robotnik role, but he did a good job of making the character his own while also staying true to the Robotnik character. There were times where he would say a line and I would just kind of be shocked because it reminded me of what I heard in the video games or in the show. It's like, wait, did he just say that like that in that low gravelly voice? Maybe Jim Carrey actually took time to hear what other Robotnik actors have done and apply it to his own character. Now, it wasn't always like that, and it was only here and there, which is ingenious in my mind, but I'm just gushing about Jim Carrey at this point. But Jim Carrey is so good at making sure each character he does is unique. Robotnik is a toned down Ace Ventura and Grinch. It wasn't too over the top. And that was another thing I was worried about, is that he'd be too much like Ace Ventura. There were some reviews beforehand that were saying he stole the spotlight. I disagree with that. I think he shared it very well. If he had been crazy the whole time and Ace Ventura coming out of a rhinoceros's nether region, then yeah, of course, I would agree he would have stolen the show. But no, I think he shared it well with Sonic. Sonic was just as good as Robotnik. James Marsden, as I think the guy's name's Tom, I think he's accepted his role in the universe as the Uber driver for furry CGI creatures. That's just what he does. And he's fine with it. He's not annoying or terrible, but not great. You kind of work with what you got. I mean, he's not supposed to be the main character here. He is part of the main cast, but he's not the center, or shouldn't be the center. My problem with him, though, is the lack of development with him and Sonic. Sonic and Tom just suddenly have a good bond between them, you know, despite them hardly knowing each other. But maybe that just makes sense for a Sonic movie because you gotta go fast and everything's gotta be quick and happen quickly. But I do like the fact that he was married. Usually there is a love interest in these kind of movies, and the furry creature will notice that this person has a love interest and try to get the two hooked up. And by the very end, the girl will fall in love with the guy and they kiss, or they're getting married or something. And then the furry guy's like, "Took you long enough. Good job, man." And, you know, ha ha ha, very funny. I'm glad they didn't do that. This was a married couple. And you don't see that whole often. I guess my biggest complaint is just how simple and predictable the movie was. Just by the books. Not trying anything too drastic, at least in cinema world. Maybe to Sonic fans, some of the things they did were pretty crazy, but I don't know. At the same time, it's still enjoyable, despite that. One more complaint. Product placement. That's all I will say for now. And now it's time for spoilers! Please skip to this time to hear my final spoil-free thoughts. Did you do it? Okay, I warned you. Tails is a girl? Okay, that's a lie. Tails is not a girl. But Tails does appear in this movie. I'm so glad they did that. One of my disappointments for the direction of the movie was that we wouldn't see Tails, Knuckles, or any of the other Sonic characters. And I always thought that would be the point of a Sonic movie, is not just to see Sonic, but have other people as well. But you think about it, just introducing Sonic and focusing on him is probably the better way to go about it for a general audience. But honestly, seeing Tails was the best part of the movie. It feels wrong to have a Sonic movie without Tails. Another thing is Sonic Origins. I didn't think we would actually see Sonic's planet. I thought they would just kind of skim over that and not. It's like, nah, we don't have the budget for that. Let's not worry about it. But no, we see Sonic running around in the Green Hill Zone. We see Echidnas chasing Sonic, which that was really surprising. And then we see this owl lady thing who doesn't look anything like a Sonic OC, so it's a bit contradictory to maybe the Sonic universe. However, I wonder if Sega asked Paramount to avoid making their own OCs. It's like, please do not make Owl OC. No. I don't know. Either way, the Owl Lady's fine. It was interesting to see new characters within the Sonic universe, if you will. And then how she used the rings. I think the rings were a smart way of making them relevant for the movie. It doesn't make much sense in the video game context, but within the movie, I think that's a really cool feature that I think they used pretty well for some cool action chase sequences. I mean, Sonic is all about speed, so having chase sequences through different areas on the map is quite enjoyable, I think. Sonic's loneliness is, I think, one of the better moments in the movie, just because you see Sonic you see Sonic's emotions. You see him struggling with the fact that he's all by himself and he can't really share his life with anybody. And that's sad. How many of us have been there where we're just playing baseball by ourselves? Anyone? Just me? Okay. Oh. The elevator bag scene had the entire theater pretty much dying. I was surprised how much they liked it. Maybe it was because I saw the scene already in a trailer, so it wasn't that hilarious to me. But yeah, like, it got the theater dying pretty good. There was a moment that I laughed out loud that I thought was really funny, but I can't remember what it was. I don't know if it was a reference to something in Sonic that I thought was funny, or I wish I could remember, but I guess what I'm trying to say is there are moments that even I laughed out loud, Mr. Grouch over here. So there's that. There is a lot of potential for a sequel, like a lot. Even so, more so than Detective Pikachu, which we already know has confirmed they're making another one. I hope we also see a Sonic 2 to answer some cliffhangers they left. For example, Jim Carrey's slow slip into madness as he's walking around the mushroom planet. I love that moment. He shaves his head. He's slowly slipping into that Robotnik persona that we know from the video games, and it's great. I hope we get to see more of Jim Carrey's insanity as Robotnik. That'll be great. That'll be awesome. But he also vows to escape the planet, and when the bad guy vows to escape the planet, you know they're going to escape the planet in a sequel at one point. And then, I guess, Tails, because obviously that's a huge cliffhanger in and of itself. Why does Tails know the Sonic is a thing? Because Sonic was a baby, or a very small child when he left his home planet, at least according to the movie. So how old was Tails? Could Tails even remember Sonic? I mean, maybe I'm just thinking too much about this, but maybe he was just told about the existence of Sonic by the Owl Lady, and now he's trying to save Sonic because Owl Lady wants him safe. I don't know. Maybe Sonic is the only one who can save his planet. Either way, it's great to see Tails there, and I can't wait to see where they go from here. And now I'm going to talk about the terrible product placement. I mean, it is bad. Like, so bad. And they try to play it off as jokes. I feel for them because they have to do what they have to do to fund films and whatnot, but goodness gracious. I think Paramount is Paramount notorious for these kind of things? I feel like they are. Doesn't Paramount do Transformers? I remember Transformers always having just blatant product placement in a lot of the movies. I don't think it's ever been this bad. Like, Olive Garden went full on product placement. They were like, you're going to use our motto, you're going to use our gift card, you're going to say how much you love it. Do it! You will eat at Olive Garden! Needless to say, I won't be eating at Olive Garden anytime soon. The Sonic the Hedgehog movie proves once again that video games can make it on the big screen without laying a giant egg, the first being Detective Pikachu. Instead of a chili dog mess, the Sonic film turned into a fun ride for kids, fans, and boomers alike. If you're not a Sonic fan but like simple, good fun, go see the Sonic movie. If you are a Sonic fan, who are we kidding? You already saw it 2 times, at least. It may not be my favorite video game movie, but there's still a lot to enjoy here. As a casual Sonic fan, I came away pleasantly entertained. Let's hope future video game movies follow this upward trend with the Illumination Mario movie in 2022, the 20th Century Studios Mega Man movie, the Warner Bros. Legend of Zelda, Universal's Metroid movie, and the Fire Emblem Three Houses anime. Okay, those last three were clearly lies, but I want one so bad. Please, Nintendo, let them have your IPs. A TV show, a movie, animated series, anything. Also, please let me play Link. Thank you. Thank you so much for watching. What did you think of the Sonic movie? Probably not the right place to ask this, but did you like the Sonic movie or the Detective Pikachu movie more? Let me know in the comments below. My pick is Detective Pikachu. Might be my bias shining through, but I thought Detective Pikachu was a slightly better, more creative screenplay. Anywho, if you liked what you saw, please subscribe for more Nintendo-related goodness. Goodbye, you good people. That was the worst Sonic impression I've ever heard. Man, I am really hungry. You know what I'm in the mood for? Olive Garden. Ew, gross, no. Why would I ever go there?
What? They have unlimited breadsticks.
No. I prefer going to respectable establishments. Like Sonic Drive-In. Talk about class. Have you ever had their chili dogs? Now that is how you Sonic.